This week's edition of Eagles on Air is sponsored by Goki's Fast Mart.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Alex Headland with another edition of Eagles on Air. Here's a look at what happened this week. All of the FCCLA officers attended a state leadership retreat at Wayne State on Wednesday. They listened to a speaker talk about the book Leadership Challenge. After the lecture, they attended a session that was made to give the students more insight about state activities. One-act tryouts also started this week to kick off their season. Now we will take a look at the weekly weather forecast.
What's up, guys? It's Dave here with weekend forecast. On Friday, it'll be a high of 54 and a low of 46. Saturday, it'll be a high of 67 and a low of 52. And on Sunday, it'll be a high of 74 and a low of 49. Now off to Jordan.
Hi, Jordan here with the weekday forecast. On Monday, it will be sunny with a high of 79 and a low of 55. On Tuesday, it will be a high of 74 with a low of 49. And Wednesday, high of 75, low of 49, partly cloudy. On Thursday, it will be a high of 74 and a low of 51, mostly cloudy. And it's off to Rachel.
Thanks for the forecast. Looks like this cold weather's not going to last. Now off to Tyler and Angel with a wrap-up of this week's sports.
This week's sports is brought to you by Fox's Food Plaza.
Hey guys, this is Angel and Ty here bringing you another edition of O'Neill Sports Weekly. Angel, how did softball do this week?
Well, softball, they went to Lexington. They got fifth as a team. They played Cozad. They went 0-5 in that game. And then right after that, they played GI Northwest and lost that game, unfortunately, 8-4. And then they played Minden and finished out strong and won that game 9-0. So congrats to that.
Yeah, sweet. Cross country on Friday went to Norfolk Catholic. And overall, the girls placed 6th as a team, and lady placers were Brandy Walters as 20th, Alejandra Vergara 21st, Tasha Lechtenberg 29th, Lizzie Price 34th, Michaela Weesey 53rd, and Katrina Spangler got 68th. So girls had lots of girls placed, so it was good. And then boys, they placed 5th overall as a team, and individual placers for them were Kyle Pardon 12th, Humberto Castillo 19th, Nate Gottrell 29th, Blake Walters 34th, Shay Lingenhanger 38th, and Joy Gillen 48th. So, good job across the
Good weekend. Good weekend for them.
Yeah.
And then girls golf, they went to Pierce for a golf scramble, and the team there placed 7th. They only placed top 20. And for the placers, 2 from O'Neill, Allison Depko got 5th, and Nicole Lynn got 20th. And then that Monday, they had their own invitational here in O'Neill, and the Eagles got 3rd as a team there. And for placers, we had Allison Decko, she got 1st, and then Nicole Lynn got 12th. And then we had a 3-way tie at 15th, and they have to play off to get that 15th place. And Holly won that, and congrats to her, way to fight it off. So
Solid. And volleyball played Crofton here in O'Neill on Thursday, and they beat the Warriors in 3 sets by scores of 25-17, 25-18, and 25-19. And then on Saturday, they went to the Boone Central Invitational, and the Eagles had 3 games down there. They beat Takema Herman 25-18 and 25-15. Then they played Wayne, and they beat the Blue Devils 25-23 and 25-23 and 30-28. So that was good for them. But then the Eagles' last game, they played Columbus Lakeview, and they lost by a score of 17-25, 30-28, and 25-15. But we're getting 2 out of 3. That's pretty good for volleyball.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
good job.
and then we got football, and Friday we lost to Valentin at home, 13-20. You know, our heads were not in that, and we had a good defensive game. I mean, we were pretty good. We're on the ball, flying to the ball, but our offense just didn't click. And you know, I hope we got Ainsworth this weekend. We're gonna get them this week. There's no 0-3. We're gonna go 1-2. So
Yeah, so. And cross country has their home invite on Friday, so good luck to them. So I think that does it, Eagle Lynn. This is Angel and Ty signing off.
Thanks, guys. Sounds like it's been a busy week of athletics.
Thanks, Alex. Now for a new feature on Eagles on Air. It's Kelsey Ross with the weekly music review.
I'm feeling all bubbly and such after listening to iTunes Single of the Week Colors by the indie rock quintet Group Love. This upbeat and cheerful group comes from Los Angeles. Band members include Hannah Hooper, Christian Zucconi, Zach Gadd, Andrew Weston, and Ryan Rabin. Their new album, Never Trust a Happy Song, came out on September 13th with other songs including Close Your Eyes, Naked Kids, and Getaway Car. I think this tune has funk as well as a good acoustic sound to receive a solid 3 headbangs. Way to go, Group Love!
Thanks, Roscoe, but be careful not to hurt your head with all that head banging. Now we'll hand it off to Alex.
Here's a feature story by Tasha Lechtenberg about the history of KBRX radio.
It's the one song that most people throughout the O'Neill and the O'Neill community know. It's the theme song to O'Neill, Nebraska's radio station, KBRX's Party Line show. While the whole community may know the KBRX Party Line theme song, do they really know how KBRX got its start? Bob LaRue started KBHC in November of 1955. It was a 250-watt AM station that broadcast from 6 a.m. to midnight. A year after being sold to Holdridge's Sun Broadcasting Company Incorporated in 1957, the station was raised to 1,000 watts, the call letters were changed, and KBRX AM was born. The voice of ranch radio was now on the air from sunrise to sunset. In 1959, Gil Posey moved to O'Neill and had worked for the president of Sun Broadcasting, Bill Wetlock, for several years.
Radio station, KBRX started in 1956. Our family got it in 1959. And we've been the owners since 1959 when it was just an AM station. And then in the late 70s, we got our FM license and were able to get our KBRX FM on the radio.
While buying a radio station with no money down may sound good, it's not easy to do if you don't have money, which Gil didn't have, according to the KBRX website. The station owed everyone for everything. He wrote to all they owed money and promised to pay $5 a month until all debts were paid. With patience, hard work, and perseverance, all debts were paid off, and 7 years later, so was Sun Broadcasting. In April of 1961, papers were drawn up for Ranchland Broadcasting Incorporated. Scott Posey arrived in O'Neill in 1963. We didn't hear much from Scott until 1976 when he first came on the radio.
I started working here at KBRX when I was 13 years old and have worked here ever since. Started out working evenings after school and weekends, and after college eventually turned into a full-time job.
However, Scott's not the only one who got a start at KBRX Radio.
We've had a number of people that got their start here at KBRX. Probably one of the most successful ones is Roland Johnson, who owns 3 Eagles Communications. I think he's up to almost a little over 60 radio stations right now that he owns. He got his start here at KBRX when he was trying to avoid working in the hayfield for his dad. He decided he'd work where it was air conditioned. We've also had Terry Kurtz. He was a news anchor down in the Phoenix area, and I'm not going to be able to get the name of the other guy, but he has also been a CNN news anchor and does video photography now as his kind of sideline hobby. But we've had people like Doug Larson that went to work for WW, Robert Gibbons that worked at KFI in Wichita, and a number of our former employees have went on to become very successful in the either radio or TV business.
KBRX FM officially went on the air January 22nd, 1974, located at 92.7 on the radio dial with 3,000 watts of power. On March 10, 1981, KBRX FM began broadcasting with 100,000 watts of Ranchland music, news, and information from the new 497-foot tower located 5 miles southeast of O'Neill. At the age of 85, Gil Posey still reads the news Monday through Friday, and in 2008 was inducted into the Nebraska Broadcasters Hall of Fame. One of the longest running programs on KBRX is Party Line, Announcer Willie Thomas began Partyline in late 1958, and it continues yet today, Monday through Friday. Willie had a theme song of Keep Your Promise, Willie Thomas, which many remember well. Today, when the song Friends and Neighbors comes up, everyone knows what's about to begin on 102.9 FM.
Information to all listeners in the KBRX radio area. We invite you to place your call with items of...
Over the years, KBRX has worked hard to inform and entertain. One incident was the contest to see how long it would take to melt 4,000 pounds of ice in downtown O'Neill. It took longer than thought, 4 days. However, the ice had to be watched all night, as some of the locals might help the melting of the ice. Then, there was the time the former game warden watered all the station's rain gauges up to about 2¼ inches of rain, when no one else in the 7-state area had over 2,500s. That really got the phones ringing at KBRX. KBRX has grown considerably from the 250-watt AM station located in the Quonset hut where the broadcast was from 1955 to 1963. They have never really moved, just extended the building to 3 times to its present size. The Quonset hut is still in use inside the new structure as it stores all the golden oldies. KBRX continues to keep listeners entertained and informed with the AM/FM broadcasts. The staff hopes you stay tuned into Top Dog Country for many years to come.
Great story, Tasha. KBRX sure has been a great asset to our area for so many years. Thanks for tuning in to another edition of Eagles on Air. We look forward to seeing you again next week.